Om Sahna Bhavatu Sahno Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्. Hari Om, salutations to all. So we are seeing fifth canto, and in that we saw different varshas which are described, and in each varsha 9 varshas which are there, and each varsha Bhagwan appears in a different form, and the devotees, the key inhabitants there, they worship Bhagwan in that specific form. So we saw that in this Ilavrata Varsha, Bhagwan Shiva worships Bhagwan Vishnu. All these are appearances of Bhagwan Vishnu. So Bhagwan Vishnu in the form of Sankarshana, who is Anantanag. Then in Bhadrashva Varsha, uh, Bhagwan is worshipped in the form of Hayagriva. So Bhadrashrava is the devotee who worships Bhagwan in the form of Hayagriva. Now till that we saw in the 18th chapter. Now we see in the Ketumala Varsha, Bhagwan is worshipped in the form of Narasimha. Sorry, Hari Varsha, not Ketumala Varsha. Hari Varsha, Bhagwan is worshipped in the form of Narasimha by Prahladji. So 7th para onwards. Hari Varsha Chapi Bhagavan Narahari Rupena Aste. So Bhagwan is in the form of Narahari. So the episode of Prahladji Narasimha Avatar will come in the 7th canto. That time the details will be explained about how Bhagwan took that form. But here, right now, it is just the mention that in this Hari Varsha, Bhagwan, the presiding deity of this is Bhagwan Narasimha, and Prahladji is the one who is worshipping him, glorifying him. And Prahladji is called Mahabhagavato. He is a Mahabhagavat of all the so devotee who is following the Bhagavata Dharma is called a Bhagavata. So what is the Bhagavat Dharma? The essence of entire Bhagavatam is complete surrender to Bhagavan Vishnu. So the most popular shloka that we all chant so often, Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakriti svabhavat karomi yad yad sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Parasmai Narayanaya, to the Supreme Lord Narayana, Yadyad, whatever karma I do, through my body, through my speech, through my mind, through my senses, through my buddhi, through my innate nature, swabhav, all that I dedicated to Bhagavan. Meaning we wholeheartedly serve the Lord, love the Lord, worship the Lord. Now, every action, such a devotee is called Bhagavata. Amongst all of them, such great devotees, Prahladji is Mahabhagavata. So, that great devotee of Bhagavan, he is Mahabhagavata, then Mahapurusha Guna Bhajano. The great qualities are there. He is a reservoir of great qualities. One can't become a Mahabhagavata without that. Because only when goodness is there, sattva guna is there, will the bhakti stay in that heart, and the remembrance of the Lord will be there throughout the day, through all actions, thoughts, everything. And who is he? Daitya Danava Kula Tirthi Karana Sheela Acharitaha. These are all adjectives of Prahladji. He has delivered the demonic family. Daitya Danava Kula Tirthi. Tirtha means to cross over. Meaning he has delivered this demonic family by his uh, Sheela, good conduct, and Charita, by his character. Prahrado. So Prahrada. So in many of this in Sanskrit, la and ra is sometimes interchangeable. So Prahlada and Prahrada is the same. Same way, Rasa and Lasa mean the same. So Lasyati means to shine. Ras means the divine dance. So that divine dance where each one shines in their true glory, and it is that which will reveal the Atma to us, that is Ras Leela. It is not some play of, uh, Krishna Bhagawan flirting with the gopis. It is not like that. It is the highest depiction of meditation, actually. Anyway, so la and ra are interchangeable. So Prahrada mean the same. One whose joy is supreme, one who lives in that absolute bliss every moment of one's life is Prahlada. Prakarshena ahlada yasya sa Prahladaha. So that great devotee Prahladji, along with the residents, see all of them, like Shivji when he is worshipping Sankarshana, Shivji, when he worships Bhagwan Sankarshana, it is not he only worshipping. All the other residents of that Varsha also join him. Same way here also. Ananya Bhakti Yogena Saha Avyavadhanan Avyavadhananya Bhakti Yogena Saha Tadvarsha Purushaihi Upaste Idam Chaudaharati. So that is, it is elaborated now that how he worships Bhagwan Narasimha along with all the other people with great bhavana, with great devotion. And what is the mantra that he chants? So as I said, every Varsha, in every place, the deity who is being worshipped, the mantra of that deity is given in Bhagavatam. So if somebody has that form as their Ishtadevata, then they can use this mantra and worship the Lord and do japa, etc. So here the mantra is, see, for Narasimha Bhagwan, long mantra is there. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejase. Sorry. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejas Tejase. Avir Bhava Vajra Nakha Vajra Damshtra Karma Shayan Randhaya Randhaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuishtham Om Kshraum. This is the full mantra. Big, long mantra it is. In this, there are some, like Kshraum is a special Bija mantra connected only to Narasimha Bhagwan, the mystical syllable. So, what does this mantra say? Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. My salutations to Bhagawan Narasimha. If somebody's Ishtadevata is Narasimha Bhagwan, they can even say Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. That much also you can say. Or you can say this whole thing. There's a big one. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Salutations to the Lord who is Narasimha. Namaha Tejaha Tejase. Salutations to you who are the source of all power. Tejaha, Tejase. Like when we say the eye of the eye, mind of the mind, like that. Tejaha, Tejase. Meaning the source of all Tejas. He is the Tejas who is the source of all Tejas. Meaning all brilliance, brightness, illumination, effulgence. So salutations to that Supreme Lord Narasimha who is the source of all the Tejas. Then Avirbhava, Avirbhava. Please appear in our hearts. Twice. Many things will be twice. Like Randhaya, Randhaya, Grasa, Grasa, Avirbhava, Avirbhava. Twice. So sometimes it is meant for the metrical adjustment, sometimes it is the intensity of the devotees longing that please manifest, manifest. Avirbhava, Avirbhava. Manifest in my subtle body, manifest, give me darshan in the physical form. Different meanings it can have. So Avirbhava, please manifest in front of me. Then Vajranaka, Vajradamshtra. He has this Vajra is literally thunderbolt. So he has this nails, nakha, and danshtra, teeth, as strong as thunderbolt. Then karmashayan randhaya randhaya. All our, the accumulated karma. Please, you destroy all that. And also those which will create future births, those vasanas. So karma word here does not mean only the external actions. It also means the latent impressions, vasanas, sanchita karma, which is not yet ready to give result. All of them, you please destroy. So, karma shayan, randhaya randhaya. Tamo grasa grasa. Tamo here means not only tamo guna in terms of laziness, lethargy, procrastination, carelessness. Tamas here also means ignorance. So please destroy our karmas. What is the root of all karmas? Ignorance. I don't know who am I. So please destroy that ignorance. How will that ignorance be destroyed? Meaning there is a prayer for knowledge. Please bless me with Brahma Vidya. Grasa grasa. Tamo grasa grasa. Please destroy this ignorance. Om swaha. And when the ignorance is destroyed, what will happen? Abhayam. Abhayam atmani bhuishtham. Bhuishtha. So may we be fearless. And it is Brahma Vidya which makes us fearless. Abhaya Pratishtham Vindate, the Upanishad says. One who attains this realization of the truth becomes fearless, gets established in fearlessness. Because all fear is born from attachment, all attachment is born from delusion, all delusion is born from ignorance. Avidya leads to moha, leads to asakti, leads to bhaya, leads to shoka. Tamo grasa grasa mean you please destroy this avidya and make us fearless. So that's the mantra. Very beautiful one. The prayer itself is so nice. Bhagawan came to liberate Prahladji from the torture of his own father. But the symbolic meaning here is what? The natural state of our mind is bliss, is happiness, is to be detached, is to have purity. That's the natural state of the mind. Attachment, ignorance, this delusion, this is not our natural state. Now, how do we say it is not our natural state? Because we drop all this. What is our natural state? We can't drop. In deep sleep, every night we become fully detached. We drop, forget deep sleep. Even in regular sleep, when we go to, we forget everything else. We don't want to eat, we don't want to talk, we don't want to hold on to anything. When we are tired, we just want to sleep. So we drop everything. Detachment is our nature. We don't think of anything negative. We drop. Our mind goes into rest state. Again, we pick up next day. So that what we can drop is not my nature. What we can't drop, that is my nature. So goodness is our nature, detachment is our nature. Even things that we are attached to, we are not attached to it throughout. Now something else comes, it goes. Another attachment comes, this goes. So that means I am able to let go of attachment, which means that's not my nature. To be aware, to be witness, all that is the nature of the mind. Pure, sattva, that's the nature of the mind. And that's why one word for the mind also is sattva. So when in the Upanishad it said aharas shuddhav sattva shuddhi, by purifying the diet, mind will get purified. There the word sattva means mind. So that's our true nature. And so this symbolism here is Hiranyakashipu means the one who sleeps on the bed of gold. So that mind which is extroverted, which is considering material goals, material world, material prosperity as the greatest, and who lives in such an ego that there is nobody greater than me, everybody should worship me, and if you worship anybody else, I will destroy you. And definitely, don't believe in God, don't worship Vishnu, and torture those who are worshipping Vishnu, destroy temples, destroy yajnas, all that. Now, that tendency in the mind is that which will trouble the seeker. One part of our mind is Hiranyakashipu, another part is Prahlada, and this Hiranyakashipu goes on troubling Prahlad and tries to kill, meaning that thought process of ego will try to destroy the sadhak in us. Bhagwan comes to destroy that tendency. Finished. And Prahlada is saved. So Bhagwan save us. That's the mantra here. Please destroy this tamas, destroy this vasanas. Bless us with Brahma Vidya. May we abide in fearlessness. That is our true nature. Fear is not our nature. So this is a very beautiful prayer. And now comes more beautiful part. So this is the mantra. Now one can do japa, etc. Now he prays. You see the pure mind. So Mahabhagavata, how does the Mahabhagavata think? So these are very nice portions in Bhagavatam. People generally cover it very fast, but very, very nice portion here. That what is Prahladji praying to Bhagwan? So here he says that Swasti astu Vishwasya Khalaha Prasidatam. May good happen to the universe. Swasti astu Vishwasya. And Khala Prasidatam. Khala Prasidatam means what? So here he says here, may those who are khala means literally cunning, wicked. Prasidata meaning may the wickedness reduce, may they become gentle. It takes great effort to mellow down actually in life. Mellow down, I don't mean in the sense of becoming subservient, submissive, but that ego, which is very high many times, it has to come down, mellow down, sober down, become humble, become more open, become more loving, accept one's flaws. Yes, I have mistakes. Readily work on it. That is mellowing down. And then to follow the path of the good uncompromisingly. So, khala prasidatam. So he says that. Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidatam dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitho dhiya. That may people think of the auspicious. So Shivam here is not Lord Shiva in that context, in this context. Shivam here means auspiciousness. So may people think of auspicious. That dhyayantu bhutani shivam mithodhiya. That may all the living beings contemplate good to one another with their intellect and with their mind. Manascha bhadram, with their mind, with their buddhi. Bhajata Bhajatad Adhokshaja. May they worship the Supreme Lord who is Adhokshaja, who is the one who destroys all sins. So may the minds be fixed on Bhagwan, Adhokshaja. And when, see, this is a prayer. Now, may the auspicious thoughts be there. May the mind have worship for the Lord, surrender to the Lord. Now, these thoughts, when they are there, then naturally, see, the society lives like that. The whole world, whole society there in that particular Varsha, there will be so much of progress, there will be so much of humility, love, compassion, beautiful qualities will be there in each one. Happiness, harmony will be the result of all that. So he prays that may this society be like this. And how society will be like that? May each individual be devoted, be worshipful to the Lord. Mean their ego should not be high. So that way, if there are any attachments, see, Sango yadi syat bhagavat priyeshu naha. If there are any attachments to us, it should only be for the devotees of the Lord. Bhagavat priyeshu cha. Priyeshu naha. Naha means us. Ma agara dara atma vit bandhushu. Atma vitta bandhushu. That vitta means wealth. So we should not have attachment to house, spouse, wealth, children, relatives. May we have no attachment to all these. If at all attachment has to be there, then it should be towards whom? Only towards the devotees of the Lord. Who are the devotees of the Lord? Who are the Bhagavatas? Who are Mahabhagavatas? Who are absorbed in the Lord? Yah pranavritya paritushta atmavan siddhyatya duran tathendriya priyaha yat sangalabdham nijavirya vaibhavam tirtham moho samsprashatam hi manasam. So he says that who are these devotees? So he says that he who is contented with the bare necessities of life and self-possessed attains blessedness at no distant date. Meaning one should have contentment. One is not greedy, running behind things in the world, forgetting Bhagawan. Then he says that such people are the devotees with whom we should be attached. If somebody is just loving the sense objects and running behind them, may we not have attachment to them. When we are attached to the devotee, so what is the meaning of attachment to devotees here? It doesn't mean that we get attached literally, but it means that may we have high regard for the devotees, which means that I have high regard for Bhagwan, my goal is very clear. And what should we do in the company of such devotees? So listen to the Katha of Bhagwan from these devotees. See that, entering through the ears, the mind of those who repeatedly listen to the purifying accounts of the exploits of Lord Vishnu. And these exploits and the Leelas of Bhagwan, they have a very unique quality of purifying our mind. So in the company of devotees, we will listen to these glories of the Lord. Then that Lord enters our heart through the ears when we listen to the Katha from these devotees, and the birthless Lord takes away the impurities of the mind. And that's why one should have the company of this devotees. So when he said here, no, Bhagavat Priyeshu. And with that, what will happen then? When we know that this is what is the main impact of connecting to devotees of Bhagavan. And that is bhakti should arise in our heart, purity should arise in our heart. And why will we not then seek such devotees? Why, who would not resort to such devotees? That's a rhetorical question, meaning we should all seek such devotees. You please bless us to have value for such devotees. See, a society's destruction will happen if the society values sense pleasures more than devotion, surrender, you know, worship of the Lord, living by the higher principles of service, doing actions dedicated to Bhagawan. If the society doesn't value that, that society will get destroyed. The easiest way to pull down a society is to make them enjoyment oriented, indulgence oriented, and to provide a lot of facilities for that on one hand, and on the other hand, remove all spiritual thought processes. Not only remove, make it appear as unworthy, make it appear as though it is a big dhong, and project it as though it is unscientific, it is superstitious, it will take us into medieval ages. So, if that is done, then that society will get destroyed. Easily, it will get destroyed. Meaning its potential will not manifest. The youth who love this, so increase the drugs, increase alcohol, increase all kinds of pan, tambaku, gutka, make those things appear cool and make living values, discipline uncool. And so that's how the projection will happen. A person who is studious and able to study well, is behaving well, he will be portrayed as a dumb nerd, bookworm, and somebody who breaks rules, disciplines, eats anything, drinks anything, becomes arrogant, fights with anybody, is projected as cool and powerful and all that. That's the easiest way to destroy the society. One conversation happened between Bahuka and Kamsa. In that, some of this is mentioned. Bahuka is the commander in chief of Jarasandh. Jarasandh's daughter is wedded to Kamsa. So he has sent this Bahuka to take care of the daughter. So when the news has come that Krishna Bhagwan is in this, he is born and he is in Mathura, not Mathura, Gokul. So Kamsa calls all the Rakshasas and Putana and all of them, Asuras, and he asks what to do. So he says, they say we go and kill all the children there. Each one gives their ideas, but Bahuka doesn't say anything. Then he asks Bahuka, why are you not saying anything? He says, if you kill all of them, you will have rebellion against the people. If you destroy the saints and sages, they will become more, people will become more powerful. They will become martyrs, people will revere them more. So what is the way to destroy that whole society? And there he gives some of these points. He says, make money and enjoyment freely available to people. That's what happens. You see how go on giving free things, freebies, you spoil that whole society. Make enjoyment so easily accessible. Today, drugs are available for small children at 10 rupees outside a school. They can happily buy it and eat it. Terrible. So, make that society so weak that they don't have the ability to live their religion, live the dharma, live higher values of life, surrender to Bhagwan, destroy that, then nothing will happen. You will be safe. Which is how so many things happen in the country where people are focused more on these aspects, make the religion look bad, project material mindset, project so-called scientific mindset, and show that these saints and sages, they are all dhongis, they are all doing wrong things. See, everywhere there will be people who have difficulty, who have negativities and who misuse the power, but when that alone is projected with a vested interest, then that is wrong. And so here Prahladji's prayer is what? that may the society worship Bhagwan, may the society think of the good, may the society ensure that the mind, the intellect, the senses are all engaged in good things, not in things which are just pleasing and then which make us fall. And may they have company of, they value the bhaktas. One of the things that we have to do to revive Sanatana Dharma is this: make people aware of the great saints and sages in this land and the ancestors, what kind of life they have lived, not only in spiritual field but even otherwise. So many great kings and queens and poets and missionaries and all from all walks of life, sculptors, artists, musicians, what this country has produced. Those standards, what we have set, how we lived, if that is known to people, then, and there are such things which we have opportunities to learn even today, then slowly this will revive. Otherwise, be carried away by the things of the West, enjoyment oriented mindset. They are struggling and suffering there with all kinds of conflicts in relationship and suicide rates and gun violence and whatnot. And we are following their trail for nothing. So, Sanatan Dharma values nothing wrong in learning anything good from anybody. That we always say, Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwata. Make good thoughts come to us from all directions. One is not closed that only my Dharma is good and nothing else I will learn from. That is fanaticism. That's not what is said. Here he says that may our thoughts be fixed on the Lord. So may all be well with the world. May the wicked become the gentle. May the living beings contemplate good to one another. So that is all paraspara. It is beautiful to live in this way. So here he says that we should respect such devotees and listen to the katha from them, develop devotion for Bhagwan. Then in such a mind which is exclusively dedicated to the Lord, he says in the body of such a person all the devatas also reside. In the heart of a person who is blessed with exclusive devotion to the Lord, permanently dwell the gods with all their virtues. In their mind, sorry, not body. In their mind, all of them reside. And how opposite also will happen. How can the qualities of exalted souls exist in him who, far from being a devotee of Bhagawan, runs after illusory objects of senses under the impulse of a desire? So the mind, when it is so extroverted, it will be fickle. Though Bhagwan is in the hearts of all, in the heart of a devotee, Bhagwan is smiling there, and one can experience that because the devotee is surrendered to Bhagwan. One who has not surrendered and is chasing only the worldly pleasures, the mind will be very restless, tormented by desires, impulsiveness, desire for enjoyment, restlessness of the body. And so he says that through the heart of such a person where Bhagwan is, we will get the best way to develop bhakti is being in touch with the devotees, especially such great devotees like Prahladji. Then he says, as gives one example, as water is dear to fish, meaning fish can't live without water. So as the water is so dear to the fish, in that way, Bhagwan is the soul of all the embodied beings. Actually, that's the truth. But today it is avidya, which is there, which makes us feel that which God is there, what God is there. God is in our heart. If He is not there, we won't be alive. Without water, fish won't be alive. Without Bhagwan, we won't be alive. But we have forgotten that. And so he says here that ignoring that Supreme Lord who is in the hearts of all, when a person, however great he may be, if that person is attached to the house, to his greatness, to people, to sense enjoyments, then that person, what is given here is reduced to that type which couples claim in advanced age, where people uh, become old, helpless, body has become old, but the desires have become younger. So frustration will happen. And so he says that may we not have this type of a situation. Um, Therefore, renouncing the home, which is the root of this thirst for pleasure, attachment, grief, anger, pride, longing for somebody else's wife, somebody else's wealth, all that, fear, wretchedness, mental anguish, all this which perpetuate the cycle of birth and death, may we renounce all this. See, renounce house means literally renounce attachment, which brings all this what we just saw. May we renounce all this and take refuge in the feet of Lord Narasimha. That's the only safe refuge. This is the prayer of Prahladji. Imagine a Param Bhagavata like Prahladji is praying this for the society and for with the help of all the, along with all the residents of that Varsha. That this is the most important aspect. If we have this, our life is fulfilled, and life while living here also is filled with happiness because there is detachment. Otherwise, attachment comes in so many forms, and that brings us sorrow. So he says, if at all there is attachment, what it should be? Only for Bhagwan and the devotees of Bhagwan. Bas. Just a minute. So this is the prayer of Prahladji to Narasimha Bhagwan. This is in Hari Varsha. Now next is Ketumala Varsha. So Ketumala Varsha is where Lakshmi Devi, she is the chief inhabitant, and she worships Bhagwan in the form of Hrishikesha and Kamadeva. So Pradyumna, Kamadeva, Pradyumna. So the key inhabitants are Lakshmi Devi, Prajapati, Samvatsara, and his children. So in the form of Kamadeva, Bhagwan resides there with Lakshmi Devi, and he stays there to please Prajapati Samvatsara, whose sons and daughters are the controlling deities of the days and nights respectively. Meaning each day has one presiding deity and night has a presiding deity. And so the sons control the day, then the daughters control the night. Control meaning they are presiding over it, the functioning. And they are 36,000, meaning one for each day and night. In the lifetime of a human being, which is 100 years. So 360 days. See, we go by the lunar calendar, okay? Don't think that 365 days thana. No, that is the Gregorian calendar. Our lunar calendar, we go by that Sony lunisolar calendar. So based on the tithis and the rashis, the sun moving into this 12 rashis. So based on that, the Panchanga, etc. is made. So 12 months, 30 days. Now, bright fortnight, dark fortnight, 30 days, 12 months, 360 into 100 years. Adhik Mas, etc. is inbuilt in that only. So don't worry कि वो 5 दिन फिर 1 quarter day वो कहाँ से adjust होता है. All that is inbuilt in this. So 36,000 years is a general span of this what you call human life of 100 years, a Purna Jivan. So one day, one deity is in charge. See the level of delegation it is. One deity is in charge of only one day. and another deity is in charge of one night. Like that, 36,000. So at the end of so each day and night, at the end of each year, his daughters become agitated by the Lord's Kala Chakra and their fetuses are aborted. That's a poetic way of saying that the day ends. So in time everything changes, and so um, also it means prarabdha karma. We came here to exhaust our prarabdha karma, so karmas get destroyed, and then that's how evolution happens. So now Bhagwan is in this form of Kamadeva there. So here he says that by the elegance of his lotus face, lovely with shapely arches of his brows, which is raised on account of his playful glances, accompanied with a winsome smile, which is embellished with the charm of his graceful gait, he brings joy to Mother Rama. So Bhagavan pleases Mother Lakshmi in a through his very form, through his very beautiful face, his smile, his glance. And Mother Lakshmi worships Kamadev. So during the day she is accompanied by Prajapati Samvatsara's sons, and during the night by his daughters. And what is the way she worships? Now see the mantra here. So um, the mantra given here is, this has a lot of bija mantras now. This is a form of uh, Kamadev, who is also called Hrishikesha. Very interesting this is. Om Hram Hrim Hrum Om Namo Bhagavate Hrishikeshaya Sarvaguna Visheshair Vilakshitatmane Akutinam Chittanam Chetasam Visheshanam Chadhipataye Shodasha Kalayat Chandomayaya Annamayaya Amritamayaya Sarvamayaya Sahase Ojase Balaya Kantaya Kamaya Namaste Ubhayatra Bhuyat. This is the full mantra. To remember this may take 10 days for us. But the point is, as I said, so there are bija mantras in this. So Om Hram Hrim Hrum Om Namo Bhagavate Hrishikeshaya. That's the short one. Then the elaborate one is given. If somebody worships Kamadeva, now interesting is Kamadeva and Hrishikesha. It appears as oxymoron to us. There is no oxymoron in that. We think of Kama only as some sense enjoyment. But Kama is not only that. Any form of joy that arises is because of the Ananda Swarupa Bhagawan. In Panchadashi it is said Brahmananda is what is being enjoyed by us as Vishayananda. Every Vishayananda is actually Brahmananda in, it's like the chocolate being eaten with the wrapper. You can remove the wrapper and enjoy pure chocolate. But we are not enjoying pure Brahmananda, which is our blissful nature. We are enjoying it through sense pleasures, and there we are getting attached, and then it just gets destroyed, so we become sorrowful. All that happens. Hrishikesha is one who controls the senses, and only through control of the senses can one attain the blissful nature of one's. Otherwise, senses are extrovert, we don't realize our true self. So Kamadeva and Hrishikesha, they complement each other. Only when there is control of the senses, even at an ordinary simple level, forget Brahmananda. To enjoy the sense pleasure, also control of the senses is important. Because senses are very, um, they have a saturation point, and they also have its own limitations. So first rasgulla we eat, it tastes very nice. Second one little less. Third one much lesser. Like that, the pleasure of the senses also diminishes. Because things in the world also are like that. Our senses are also made like that. And so these senses, if we don't control, suppose you eat only two, One enjoys them, relishes them, eats bas. Controlled enjoyment versus uncontrolled, just hogging away 10, 15, 20 and chewing it fast and not enjoying it really. How much will one love it or enjoy it? One will not. How people eat, sometimes they'll take in advertisements and all, they will show, suppose some drink or something, mango, and that mango is there, and this person is squeezing it, and one drop falls, and one drinks that, ah, and relishes it. That is sense control or not? Rather than just taking and finishing it so fast, slowly, with full attention, being in the present, enjoy it. So, even for sense enjoyment, that is required to control the senses. So here she says, my salutations to that Lord who is Hrishikesha. One meaning of Hrishikesha is control of the senses. In Gita, the word Hrishikesha comes again many times, but there Hrishikesha also means one who has curly hair. Hrishikesha also means one who has uh, Rishika, the Supreme Lord Shiva, is his Ishta. Like that, different meanings are there. Bhagwan Krishna loves Lord Shiva. In fact, he goes to Kailas, he worships Lord Shiva also there. So different names are there. Rishikesha is Krishna Bhagwan. Rishikesha is who has curly hair, who is the lord of the senses, whose Ishtadevata is Shiva. Now the point is that Supreme Lord is Rishikesha. He only appears as Kamadeva. So she says, my salutations to that Lord who is Rishikesha, Sarva Guna Visheshair Vilakshitatmane, who is specifically pointed by indicated by all the great virtues and values. Sarva Guna Visheshaihi Vilakshanatmane, and who is distinguished by those, meaning all gunas. See, we have um, some few gunas, that too in some quality, some quantity. Bhagwan has Sarva Guna, and Bhagawan also has them in full measure. So he is separated out, or he is specially indicated. Vilakshana, Vilakshitatmane. That's what it means. One person in Bengaluru, one great achiever, his name was Bahuguna, very famous in that time, and Gurudev was there. So he went to meet Gurudev, and Gurudev was reading a newspaper or something, and he goes and he prostrates there, and Gurudev is still reading the newspaper. So he looks at, so he says, Swamiji, I am Bahuguna. Just to introduce himself, he says, Swamiji, I am Bahuguna. Gurudev immediately put the newspaper aside and he said, I am Sarvaguna. He laughed. Idea is that, see, he abides in that state. So when it was his wit also, and it is his way of, acknowledging that person who is standing and who was there in front of him also. He said, I am Bahuguna. So he said, I am Sarvaguna. Remembering Bhagawan also. So Bhagavan is like that. Sarvagunatmane, Sarvaguna Visheshai Vilakshitatmane. Then Akutinam Chittanam Chetasam Visheshanam Cha Adhipataye. So he says here that the ruler of all the organs of action, the senses of perception, as well as the four aspects of the uh, internal senses, the mind, intellect, memory, and ego, that is this. Akutinam Chittanam Akutinam Chittinam Chetasam Visheshanam Cha Adhipataye. Then Shodasha Kalaya, 16. So we say 16 aspects of the subtle body. And so this is Shodasha Kala. We say Krishna Bhagavan is Purna avatar in that sense. See, every avatar is Purna, but Krishna Bhagavan is Purna avatar, Purna Purushottam we say because he exhibited all the 16 kalas. Because he was born in Chandra Vamsha and moon has 16 kalas. Moon is connected to the mind, so mind has 16 kalas. Bhagwan Ramji, it is said, manifested 12 kalas because he was born in the Surya Vamsha and there are 12 Adityas. So, what are the 16 kalas? So, he says here that Shodasha Kalaya, meaning Bhagwan is the one who is the lord of the 16 kalas. So, the mind, the 10 indriyas, and the 5 subtle elements. One who has mastered all these, who is a controller of all these, is a Shodasha Kala Purusha, who manifests all these divine powers. You know, Krishna Bhagwan manifested so many miracles, he did divine powers, he manifested because he has control over all of these. Mind, 10 indriyas, 5 subtle elements. Then, who is Chandomayaya, who is the personification of the Vedas. Chandas here means Veda. He is the very embodiment. The Vedas are uh, not just books. Vedas are Bhagwan's Swarupa. So we worship the Vedas. They are also called as the very breath of Bhagwan. Ved Bhagwan is worshipped. So it's not book, it is knowledge, it is the Vangmaya Rupa Bhagwan. So Vedatmane. Then Annamayaya, who is of the form of food, who nurtures us, nourishes us. Then Amritamayaya, who is also immortal, whose nature is immortality. Then Sarvamayaya, who is all pervading. Sahase, who is most powerful. And Ojase Balaya, the very source or the physical strength that we get by eating food, that is called Ojas. And Bala is the strength part. Ojas is that virility, physical stamina, and Bala is a physical strength. When that is used for service of the society, for spiritual sadhanas, then that Ojas will become Tejas. And so that spiritual glow is Tejas. So Bhagwan is that Bala, Ojase Balaya, Kantaya. So Kantaya has two meanings. One meaning is one who is resplendent, who is effulgent, who shines. And second meaning, one who is the Lord and the husband of all. Kantaya. Kamaya, who fulfills all the necessities and desires of the devotees. Namaste Ubhayatra Bhuyat, meaning salutations to you here and hereafter, both. Ubhayatra means two. Two means what? Here and hereafter. Meaning in this life also, and even after I drop the body, you still exist in whichever form you are. My salutations to here and hereafter. So this is the basic meaning of this beautiful mantra. And here, what does Lakshmi ji pray? Just like Prahladji prayed. So everywhere we see there is a mantra and then there is a prayer. So here, what is the prayer? That people worship you. Women in this world desire to obtain another man as a husband by propitiating you. See, the word Kantaya was used in that mantra, no? So that is because of this. The explanation, the prayer detailing comes here. That women worship Kamadeva to get a husband, a good, eligible husband who is whatever, loving, can take care of one, protect one, treat one as an equal, all that. So she says here that women in this world desire to obtain another man as a husband by propitiating yourself, the very detector of the senses, through various austerities and vratas and sacred vows that they follow. But they should know very clearly that the earthly husband himself is finite entity. They will not be able to protect the beloved, the offspring, the wealth, and the life of these women since they are anything but independent themselves. So, who is the real pati? He alone is a master in the real sense, who is completely independent, who has no fear, and is able to protect on all sides a person stricken with fear. And she says, you are the only one, since you account no other joy higher than realization of your own blissful state. Everything else is perishable. How will that which is perishable itself protect somebody else? And so it's not that one should not do marriage or have a husband, etc. But the point is, one should know that my true source of security, protection, strength, love, happiness is Bhagawan only. To go through a certain way of life, to exhaust certain karmas, get certain experiences, get vairagya, get bhakti, one may go through grahast ashram, that is all fine, but deep down one should know that I am actually married to Bhagawan. And Bhagawan alone is my true dependency is on the Lord. That's the main point here. So otherwise, if your joy depends on the other, you would be far from independent, and in the event of there being a number of independent rulers, there would be fear from one another. So she says that may everybody consider you as their supreme pati. Then she who exclusively desires to adore the lotus feet of such a Lord in you succeeds in attaining all the objects of her desires, and yet remains unattached and becomes glorious as a devotee. If, on the other hand, you are worshipped and approached with a longing, some people worship the Lord also with a sakama bhavana. Not only husband, but they want some other things also, wealth and some enjoyment and some prosperity and some other things, house and all that. If somebody wants that, Bhagwan says, she says here that they may get that also. Means with your grace they will get that, but it will land them up in sorrow, because eventually those things are temporarily perishable and they will create fear, anxiety, and ultimately sorrow also will happen. And so even Brahmaji, Shivji, and all devatas, Indra, even asuras, whose mind is attached to objects of senses, they also practice great austerities to win her favor, Lakshmi ji's favor, because people want Lakshmi. They want to abandon Narayan Bhagwan and they run behind Lakshmi. And what Lakshmi Devi says here, she says here that they fail to secure me, barring those who are devoted to you. Why? Because I am devoted to you. Oh Bhagwan, I am devoted to you, and so those who are devoted to you, they will secure me. In what sense? We may say that Swamiji, there are enough people in the world where people are atheists, not worshipping Bhagwan, not even aware of his existence, and they are blessed with Lakshmi. See, we think material wealth is Lakshmi. But Lakshmi is not only that wealth. Lakshmi is this devotion. Lakshmi is the feeling of security, of peace, of happiness, of immortality. That knowledge is the real wealth of the self. That doesn't come. Material wealth comes and goes. That she already said, one may get it also, but it will eventually land up one in sorrow, and in the process also there is enough attachment, fear, anxiety, stress, worries, tension, all that is there. So she says that only those who are devoted to you, they are really able to get me, because I am devoted to you. And she says now, she is praying to Bhagwan that you please bless me, put your hand on my head. She said, be pleased, O immortal Lord, to place on my head your adorable lotus-like hand, which you have placed on the heads of so many devotees. You please place. Anugraha is very important. That's why you see in a lot of Vishnu temples, if you go, the Mukuta Bhagwan, with that they will, so you bow down in front of Bhagwan and they will bless you with that Mukut. That is symbolic of Bhagwan's hand on your head. Meaning Bhagwan's kripa is there. Why does Lakshmi Devi want that? So she says this, that your grace is most dearest to me, and though you may have placed me on your chest through the form of the Srivatsa, that golden streak which is there on the chest of Bhagwan, Yet I am as though deprived of your grace, which is exclusive privilege of your devotees. So she says, you please place your hand on my head. So Lakshmi Devi here is a devotee. Don't think that she is equal to Bhagawan and there should be no gender bias and all that. That Lakshmi, some people ask me that question, why is Lakshmi serving the feet of Narayana? Man and woman are supposed to be equal. What is this patriarchy? I said, you are only seeing that because you don't know the devotion Lakshmi Devi has for Bhagawan. And it's not that Bhagawan is a man there and Lakshmi Devi is the woman there and the man is telling woman to press the feet. Bhagawan is beyond gender. Bhagawan is Trigunat, beyond Trigunatita he is. And Lakshmi Devi is his inherent power. The power will reside in the Lord, and that power is to serve the Lord. So that's a depiction there, one. Two, you are only seeing the feet there. You are not seeing the Srivatsa mark on the chest. And do you know, that is the only way to recognize who is real Bhagavan Vishnu. Huh? Please remember this. If you go to Vaikuntha Loka, there will be lots of people who will look like Bhagavan Vishnu. Many of them may be resting on the Shesha also. Many of them will have Shankachakra Gada Padma also. Because Sarupya Mukti is there. Devotees will look exactly like Bhagavan. Now, how will you search who is the real Bhagavan? The real Bhagavan is where Vishnu Bhagavan's feet, Mother Lakshmi is there and Srivatsa is on his chest. So Lakshmi Devi says, though you have given me such a high place and I am on your chest, but I seek what? I seek your hand on my head. I want your grace and blessings, which is the exclusive privilege of devotees. Meaning she says, I am your devotee here. So she says, who can know the reason why your grace as though is not available to me, though I am on your chest, but it is your Maya. Who can fathom your Maya? Reasoning, etc. can't play any role there. So she says that. This, however, is no cause for wonder, for who can hope to divine the reason of whatever is wrought by your Maya, because you are omnipotent, you are Sarva Shaktiman. And so, this is the prayer of Lakshmi Devi, meaning, please bless me with your grace. See, Shivji also, then this Bhadrashva also, Prahladji also, Lakshmi Devi also, all of them are seeking grace of Bhagavan only. The blessings of the Lord and the grace, and each of them is appearing as a devotee. So each of them are great in their own ways. These are beautiful portions of Bhagavatam. For today we will stop here. Any questions for today? Okay. We do the arati.
प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति गुण की मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की मंगल आरती मंगल बनिक त्रिभंगी हरि की मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी मंगल आरती पभी अंग अंग की मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की मंगल अति कटी पियरे पट की मंगल चितमणि नागर नटकी मंगल आरती मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की मंगल आरती मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की मंगल जुगल प्रिया भावन की मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की मंगल आरती मंगल आरती राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
Why Prahladji is called Mahabhagavatam? Because all the difficulties he went through, he did not stop taking Bhagwan's name. The kind of torture he went through, and people, Hiranyakashipu did all kinds of things to destroy him. And not only his faith was so strong, he didn't doubt Bhagwan even for a second. He never felt that will Bhagwan protect me. He never felt scared. He continuously remembered Bhagwan, and he had surrendered fully. No trace of individuality in him. That's why he is called as Mahabhagavatam. Because that type of torture nobody else has gone through. There are great devotees like Hanumanji, Vibhishanji, and Dhruva, and all of them. But what level of life-threatening things he has gone through, and they threw him from the top of the mountain and got him crushed under elephants and snake pit, and imagine what level of and no sense of victimization that my father is only doing this, what kind of a world is this, I am devotee of Bhagwan, yet this is happening to me. No such thought. You just think what level of his surrender and bhakti is most brilliant. Prahlad Charitra, when we come to, we will see what all he is. If one keeps Prahladji as one's role model, as a seeker also, as a devotee, even as a son, even as a Vyavaharik level, there is so much to learn from Prahladji's life that one's life will be fulfilled.
Yes. Swamiji, this is Prahlad's prayer and not the stuti. What we do the Prahlad's
stuti will come in
later. That's what I was
Canto.
a little confused. So I said, let me clear it out.
No, this is not the Prahlad Stuti. This is only a small portion. That Prahlad Stuti is separate. That is after Narasimha Avatar happens, we will do.
So this is just the prayer he is doing as a verse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.